Right, y'all know that I spent years building my fantasy world Eradia. I've got maps and magic rules and ancient histories and entire cultures, but for a while there, I wasn't really writing anything. Does this sound familiar? If you're anything like me, you're drowning in your lore docs, your story is collecting dust. Just stick around and I'll share with you some advice that I have to start writing your own stuff. To be honest with you, one of my reasons for even doing world building in the first place was because I wanted to roleplay characters from fandoms. Because I was a role player first, and then a writer second, and then a world builder afterwards. I didn't come from writing like fan fiction like a lot of other people did, but I started through roleplay. And I'm sure a lot of you guys heard about roleplay before, but I did text roleplay, not D&D, because I'm just not really that good at D&D. I think people who play D&D would get the picture. So I think also that roleplay is a good way to start picking and choosing what character that you guys want to focus on. And you can test them out right away and see how it works. Now, where would you try this? I know a lot of people are going to say character AI, but don't use character AI because it glazes you. Get a person who can give you real feedback and use them. Now, where do you go? You go to r/roleplay, figure out how to do the rules, and just make sure that you don't have a brand new account before you start posting there. There's also Discord communities. I would really suggest not joining a group, but do a one-on-one roleplay. A lot of people do romance stuff. You don't have to do romance stuff, but a lot of people do, so be wary of that, especially if that's not your thing. This allows you to test your characters, see how they work in an environment that they're supposed to be in, and you can add lore on the fly as you go and then remember it and save it for later. Because you want to use all that lore that you wrote, right? You don't want to just let it sit there and collect dust. Pick some characters or make some characters from those areas in your world and create kind of like their own short story about them. Like, have an end set in mind. Like, I'll tell you about one of my characters named Whoppy real quick. So this type of stories that I like to write are the 7 Wild West stories, because she is supposed to be kind of like a Mulan type character where there's a civil war and she's kind of native and there's like a north and south kind of fight thing. And I always like to have it that she ends up in the south because she has a bad sense of direction since the war ended. And I always have it 6 months after the war, so everything is still really fresh. And then I decide what kind of character would I like to see her paired with. Now, I know this is like me personally for a romance plot, but I try to pick a character that I know would be the most interesting. So the most interesting would be someone who was on the opposite team, someone who was like more dependent on, probably someone who's more rough around the edges. And then I can see how that dynamic plays out. And I've played her with several different people and several different personalities, and the rough cowboy, the like real rough kind, that is my preference for that character. Another thing I do is do like a what if situation. So over on my Patreon, if you're interested, I'm going to be putting up a story that is a what if situation if my character Kite, if she actually made it through her whole life and she died. I wanted to write out what a monolith's death would look like. And since I didn't really have any characters who had a significant story behind them, I decided that I would just write her story. And her story starts off where, you know, she knows how old she is and she doesn't really look any different, but she feels different on the inside. And she meets up with one of her long-term relatives. Like, she would be so far distant from her relatives that they would basically not be related. They'd be several times removed at that point. And he's interested in meeting a monolith. So he decides that he's going to help her go to her last rites or wherever she's chosen to be her place of death. And it's like their journey together to go there. Now, this is an alternate time of events because in my original plot for her, something completely different happens and I couldn't go down that route. And this is just something I wanted to explore for my sake. I wanted to see how far I could go, like what her delusions would be like, trying to write all that stuff. So I would definitely suggest write some short stories and maybe go see if you can find some prompts that could, supercharge your ideas of what you would want to do. But I feel like the part of world building that is tough to get out of is just writing everything down and having all this stuff that you can do stuff with, but then not doing anything with it. Because the thing is if you don't try to get out of that loop, you're never going to see if some of this stuff works in practice rather than just writing it down. Because, like, for example, I decided that I was going to have guns in my world. Now, a lot of people choose not to have guns in a fantasy world because it kind of breaks a lot of things. And I had to kind of figure out how I was going to do that, right? So for me to have guns in my world, I decided I would see how other people had guns in their fantasy world. And I just kind of chose to use it the way that Suikoden does it. And then I tweaked it a little bit for my world specifically, so it couldn't be like an overpowered, overused thing. So there would be no point in people using anything other than guns. Because I think guns are interesting, especially in fantasy settings, but they're so underutilized because they become so OP. And if anything, you can see like in Expedition 33, even though there are guns, people are still valued for their other magic stuffs. And that's kind of the sweet spot that you're looking for, where it's just not having a gun. You just have to have something better than the gun. I think for one of my next videos, I'll do something on why you can put guns in a fantasy setting, because I feel like that is so under talked about. Another thing I do that is also over on my Patreon is I do this thing called the Life Letters of Aradia. Now, what the Life Letters of Aradia is it's like a journaling first-person thing where I write from the perspective of the character going through a moment in their life, and you can really just make up some shit. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be hard, but some of the stuff I've actually role-played out, and some of the stuff I've only talked about, right? Or I've written about. I haven't actually used it in practice. So, I want to do one about my other character, Kitfame, because she's just a weird, almost like a fae kind of character, and she's really disturbed. And I thought it would be interesting to maybe do a life letter based on her at some point. But all the life letters I've written about are stories where the character was having a moment in time. I would highly suggest, if you want to get to writing the character, right now, try doing a journaling method. That is really an easy way to just move right onto where you're going to post one of your stories and get the character's voice real early before you even start it, because that's super duper difficult. I also saw this one problem that people brought up where they say, I have so many events and my world is so big and so grand, I just don't know what to write now, because I feel like I can't get all of that in just one book, and it's impossible. No one's going to want to read all of that. And you're right, no one's going to read everything happening like a World War I scenario from 19 different characters, because not even Game of Thrones does that. Not every problem has to be solved by the same person. You can have different people solve different problems. My advice would be actually what I'm doing right now is I could not decide what story I wanted to run with first. So my plot, the idea behind my plot was to pick 6 pairs of characters. I think it was 6 or 5. 5 sets of characters. And those 5 sets of characters would be the characters that I wrote 5 short stories about. And that is what's going to be my light novel, because I wanted to see what works, what doesn't, if people like the magic system, what people think of my favorite characters from my own world. But what I would do is I would wrap those stories in a theme of your world. So the theme of my light novel is that there's a flower that is going extinct, and you see that flower happen in every single set of the characters. So you get to see what happens to it. Is it extinct now? You just have to figure it out and read for yourself whenever I release it. Only can you play with a timeline, but you can actually play with different sets of characters and see if any of them really reach out to you. And if one of them does, this is just kind of an alternate story or a side story. Or it can be part of the real story. You can just actually transfigure that into the main story if you really want to. A lot of short stories do end up as bigger books. The Witcher is one. There was one that was called Bindi, I believe, that also was like an Afro-futurism sci-fi novel that got turned into a full book. One might sound a little bit weird because I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me here. Now, I don't really play Dungeons and Dragons or any of those tabletop RPGs, but some people have told me many, many times that my world would make for a great D&D campaign. Now, what you could do if you wanted to test your world out and you just wanted to let people play in your world without writing stories for it, is you could make up a campaign and then have people play it with you online, because there's people who are always looking for new D&D campaigns online to play with friends and do whatever. You would just be the GM. And some people love being in that, but not I wouldn't, but some people really enjoy being in the position of DM. And you guys could do that. You could test it out, and maybe at some point you could get inspiration, and you would be writing because you would have to write the campaign. So that could be your toe step into writing your world and making it make sense for other people. Here's another bit of advice that would actually, I think, help you in the long run. So, have you guys ever heard of an elevator pitch? An elevator pitch is basically like 30 seconds to explain everything that your world has to offer. Well, your book has to offer, right? You're basically in a scenario where you're in an elevator with a person, and this person is the person that you want to talk to, and you have them for 30 seconds. And you're here to explain to them your thing, right? So how would you explain your thing? Try to explain your world in a way, even if you have to use other fandoms to explain it, right? Get it down to 30 seconds and see if you can actually explain it to somebody else. And this is actually more world building, but this is a toe step in the right direction towards writing shit. So, okay, you guys know how you have these big worlds that have all this information, and you guys have so much information you don't even know what to do with. Basically, tone it down into a single document. This document is a document that you're going to show your friends, like your close friends, whoever that you want to read this, and they're going to critique this. So you're going to write down the basics of your world, the basic magics of your world, the locations. You're going to write basically one paragraph for everything, for for every state, every race, whatever. You basically, and you have to get it, I would say it should be less than 4 pages long. It should be less than 4 pages. I would say if you have a lot, maybe 6. My main one has 4 pages, and then I have 6 pages that is extra for when I feel like divulging more information. But for a lot of the countries, I basically just did a blurb. There's maybe 2 sentences. So you're just trying to get the gist of literally everything in your world, explain it as well as you can, and then when you're done with it, give it to other people. This is going to be the stuff that most people are going to be interested in learning about, and everything else can come through the writing. Last piece of advice is that you actually have to stop world building to start writing. There's never going to be an end to world building. It's so easy to get carried away with stuff that's just completely irrelevant that probably no one will ever know. So you guys stop doing it at the same time as you're writing. You have to make a point to choose. Now I am going to write. No, I am not going to world build and write at the same time, because it is mentally exhausting. And I think of all the advice that I gave you guys, I think doing the journaling from first person view would probably be the easiest way to start writing, because I think that is extremely personal. It can use the world building that you've already written, and you can weave it in through you're writing to another character, use it either as a journal or as a letter to another character. I think that would probably be the best way to move forward if you're really trying to get started. I forgot one. Write history. The history of your world. Write those moments in your timeline, if you guys have one, where that historical moment happens. Write it just as it happens. Write a character viewing it, a character who has already experienced it. Write it as in some way how it had to be dealt with or whatever. Write it from the villain's point of view if you want. One of these things could be a cosmic event. If you don't want to do a political event, you could do I have something called the, you know what, I'm not even going to say it because it's part of something else. But I have something that is like, has to do with the cosmics. And it happens to a certain race. And I use that as a jumping off point. I wanted to thank you guys for watching me, you know, draw Wappy and listening to me talk and give you guys some world building advice and tips and stuff. And I know this is near the end of the video, but if you guys want to support the channel, feel free to subscribe, and also go over to my Patreon where I plan to put on that short story I was talking about here and some other stuff, and my sketches and all that stuff is full res over there. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave them below. But I'll just let you guys, I guess, watch to the end. And if you do watch to the end, feel free to leave some kind of emoji down at the bottom or ask me a question. I'll see you around.